Good morning and welcome to Urban Agoge, day 4, week 7. So that was fun. I learned a very important thing. This morning's exercise was run hard fast for 1 minute and then recover for 1 minute and then run fast and again for another minute. Now, I don't do fast, I do slightly accelerated jogging. So what I thought I'd do is I'd try and go for the 1.5 miles in 14 minutes. But and I figured if I was doing well by the end of the 10 minutes, what I'd do is I'd push on for another 5 and see what my 1.5 mile time was, since I failed the other day. Now, unfortunately, that, if I'm doing well, kind of unbalanced me, and it sort of proved to me that running is definitely mental. It's all up here, definitely. So essentially what happened is I got to 10 minutes, I'd run a little bit harder than I needed to. I'd started out of my recovery, before the minute of recovery was up. So like the equivalent of running, I suppose, compared to me jogging, slightly faster jogging, which is about as fast as I can move. And but because I had that nagging little permission to quit in my brain, I got to 0.97 miles at 10 minutes and just sort of stopped. Whereas if I knew that I had 5 minutes to do half a mile and I'd already done 0.49 miles in 5 minutes, I could have got up to the 1.5 miles in around, even if I just kept up my own pace, around 15 minutes. Yeah, and that would have been an improved time. That would have been something to aim to beat, especially sort of cross country where I'm currently running. So that was interesting. If you give yourself permission to quit, then you'll probably quit. If you say, I'm now going to run for 15 minutes, regardless what the exercise guide says, then you'll probably run for 15 minutes. I did 18 minutes on Monday, no stitch, maybe little jelly legs afterwards, but, not really out of breath, certainly sweating, but that's the point of this. So yeah, I think if you give yourself permission to quit, you're probably going to quit. The other thing I learned is that there is a tiny amount. There's a road bridge on the run, and I'll try and include it on the little sped up video at the beginning of this upload. And I've started picking my feet up more when I run, which is obvious, but it's really hard when you're tired and you're trying to keep up momentum. I haven't run anywhere for like 4 years. So when you hit asphalt, or pavement, the amount of grip you get on trainers is vastly improved. The fact that you're not trying to let your feet flop around so you don't trip on stones when you're running a bit more cross country. When I'm running mostly down a canal path. So it is flat-ish. There's a few obstacles in that. But when I hit asphalt, even though that was right at the end of that was at like 8.5 minutes, I contacted asphalt, on the run over the road bridge, and that's the only paved section of the run. And even though that was kind of uphill, my stride improved amazingly. That particular bit of running was really easy. So what I'm going to do is, before the end of this week, I'll do a street run where I'm running on pavement or asphalt, and I'll try and do 1.5 miles, and I'll see what my time is, because I'm betting it'll be vastly improved. So yeah, so just 2 things from the run. Still waiting delivery of the new camera. The new gimbal, I think, will be here by the end of next week. So yeah, and I've got to do some useful upgrades to the content of the show, and see if I can sort out some kind of remote control system to remotely control the camera, and then the exercise videos will get better. So, which may involve filming at 4K and chopping down, which will increase the rendering times, but I have rather gamed the production workflow of these videos. So I've got a template that I just drop stuff into, change the wording on the title screens, and then render it, which means the workflow is pretty good. But I think I can improve on the indoor exercise videos, and the camera quality will improve. So I might go up to 2.5K and see how we go from there, and hopefully improved workflow, because the audio will go directly into the camera. I'll still be using the voice recorder. I've worked out a nice little hack with this Evisteer voice recorder, which I really like, which has provided all the audio virtually since week 2, because the microphone on this particular camera isn't all that good. Oh, look. See, it's always worth taking a different turn through the woods. You never know what you're going to find. But I know where this comes out. I've been down here before, but the last time I came down here, nobody had been kind enough to mow through. So yeah, just a short video today. I don't know, maybe I'll feel like doing some more filming later. But yeah, I like walking in the woods. It's a nice cool down. I mean, the army thing says that you should cool down for 10 minutes after you've done this run, and the nice thing is that because I walk far out to get to a relatively flat bit, maybe as time improves, when I'm going for a steady run and I'm not timing myself, maybe I'll try for the hills to increase my street speed, you know, give myself a harder workout. But it's going to affect my distance massively. I do like a morning walk through the woods. So yeah. But it is interesting how running is, once you've proved that you can run for a short distance, and then you stretch that out and you increase it, how much of a mental game it is. And from my very limited experience with the British Army, they're into effort. You know, that's their big thing. They're into making people do what they thought they couldn't do. You know, it's all about how much effort you put in. They'll be far more pleased with someone that's got a lower time, but has improved and has just pushed, and they can see. You can tell on someone's face when they're pushing themselves. And if they're prepared to push themselves in training just because, you know, a non-commissioned officer is telling them to, they know that when the chips are down, there's a much better chance of that person pulling out all the stops to help their buddies, which is a big part of the motivation in the army. So yeah, so it was a good run. I didn't think I'd be saying, you know, that was a good run, ever. You know, that sentence did not appear in my mind. Hasn't done for many, many years. And when I was running before, I wasn't doing this fitness regime. I was just running, almost, that's the only thing I was doing, and a few push-ups and sit-ups and stuff. That was it. And now I'm doing a much more balanced exercise regimen, and yeah, it's paying off. I mean, I am definitely feeling those exercises from yesterday in my legs and hips. which is probably why once you get into the circuit training it's probably a good idea to have a rest day, although I don't do rest days because I want to get out and shoot a video for you all. But yeah, so that's pretty much where I'm going to leave it. I know I say this at the end of every video, please watch the whole video. You know, if you know someone that could benefit from being a bit fitter, if you know someone that could benefit from, you know, a bit more focus in their lives and just wants to be a bit more awake, then pass it on. If you've got any questions, that's what comments are for. If you like it, like it. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. Check out the links if you want to contribute financially. It's by no means mandatory, nor could I make it mandatory. People have just been generous. That's all I'm saying. People have helped out and are, you know, the cool thing about YouTube is that nowhere else can you fund, you know, a television program that, like a particular television program that you're into or you think is worth watching. You can't directly fund the BBC. You can pay your license fee, and if you don't, they'll put you in prison. Or you can you know, or you can pay for Netflix, but that doesn't necessarily mean the show that you like will continue. But on YouTube and with Patreon, which is a genius idea, you can, you know, and PayPal, you can directly contribute. You know, you can directly contribute just by clicking like and subscribing. You can push that person towards making a bit of money. You know? It's the only system where people can produce content that actually means something and find an audience. And I like to think this actually means something. You know? What you do with your newfound superpowers is up to you. I'm telling you, I'm getting a lot more done in my life. I'm a lot more organised and a lot happier. So yeah, that's enough of me talking for today. Thanks for watching, and do take care.